Namaskar and welcome to In Focus. In this age of coalition governments and hung parliaments, how effectively is our system working? How capable are our MPs of using parliament? And if there is need for change, what sort of changes should we be considering? Here to reflect upon these deeper, wider issues is the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Mr. Srikant Jena. Mr. Jena, let me come to the very nub of the issue. How effectively, because you've seen it with a ringside view, your Parliamentary Affairs Minister, how effectively is our parliamentary system working?
What I feel, the parliamentary system is the best system in my opinion, and whatever is working over a period of last 50 years is working, and whatever what I feel it has to be improved upon, in the sense the parliament has to be, the debate has to be, the quality debate has to be there in the parliament, and we must utilize the time of the parliament business-like, and you must see that we give more time to the legislation and the serious discussion instead of going for the kind of discussion in the 0 hours. And the parliament has to be an instrument which can really give remedy to the problems of the common people. And what I feel, we need to have a kind of a, the debate in the parliament, which can really bring the qualitative change in the total administration in the country.
आपने काफी important point बनाए. Let's talk about some of them in detail. You said we need to have better debate. Are you sometimes disappointed by the quality of debate in Parliament?
No, in the sense we don't find time. We don't find time to have the serious debate in the Parliament, and most of the times we spend on politicking, and basically we don't find, when the serious discussion has to be there, we don't find time.
Are you also saying that MPs get deflected by what you call politicking?
In the sense they are more concerned about their own constituency and the immediate problems that is coming up to their mind.
So they're lacking national vision.
Yes, no, they do have that national vision, but for that we have to tune the parliamentary debate in that fashion so that they are also attuned to that kind of a debate.
A lot of people have this impression of Parliament from seeing it on Doordarshan, from reading about it in the papers, कि तमाशे, हंगामे, शोर शराबा, झगड़े होते रहते हैं. In a sense, you're saying कि इसमें भी काफी time ज़ाया हो जाता है.
My approach is because we lack in even the parliamentary parties of different political parties. The parliamentary wing of different political parties, they have to debate. Before coming to the parliament, they must debate in their parliamentary party what exactly the issues they are going to take up in the parliament. So that before coming to the parliament, we know each other, what exactly the issues are coming up, and on those issues we have to discuss and debate in a systematic, serious manner.
So what you're saying is that parties and MPs don't do their homework before they come to parliament?
No, it's not the homework of the individual MP, it is the homework of the party. The party must, the parliamentary parties of all political parties, they must, and they should be given the more, the infrastructural assistance, so that they must prepare the MPs accordingly, and the MPs can deliver their correct approach in the parliament itself.
Let's explore this, Minister. Are you saying that parliamentary parties in India are not fulfilling their full responsibility?
The expertise in the parliamentary parties today, I feel, the few 2 or 3 leaders of one political party, they are participating in each subject. Instead of they are creating more, expert parliamentarians from their own parties in different subjects. Take the case of, suppose the defense debate will be there from any party, whether it is Congress or Janata Dal or it is BJP or left parties. A person or 2 or 3 persons should be well equipped with this defense debate or HRD debate.
लेकिन ये हो क्यों नहीं रहा?
I don't know, that was in the earlier days when I was in the assembly. I was supposed to, my interest is one subject. I was concentrating on that particular subject.
But क्यों आजकल parties में leaders encouragement नहीं दे रहे लोगों को to come up and stand up and speak?
No, it's not like that. If any member is interested in any subject, I think the parties has to find out a way how to make their members effective in the parliament. That is basically precisely the work of the party. And of course, the parliament and the speaker and the chairman, they are trying their best to educate the new members how to perform their duties inside the parliament. Of course, that kind of a interaction takes place in the beginning of the
Every session.
Every session means every new house is formed.
Minister, you said a very interesting thing there. You said that parties have to find a way of making their members effective in parliament.
In my opinion, the parliamentary democracy in this country can be successful and it can be more powerful if the parties are really powerful. If the political parties are not powerful, and naturally it will have its reflection in the representation.
I'll pursue parties in a moment because I think that's a very interesting thing for us to talk about. But let me come back to something you said. You said parties have to make their members more effective in parliament. Are you suggesting that most MPs are not really effective?
No, it's not like that. Most MPs are, anybody can be effective. You as a journalist, I as a politician.
But you need to learn how to be effective.
Exactly.
So they haven't learned?
There has to be a kind of a homework. There has to be a kind of a proper support base which can make a person effective.
So what you're saying is without that homework,
MPs are working up their own. Every day they're meeting people, the constituency work, telephone calls from the constituency, and they will be delivering their duties inside the parliament.
But they have no party support to help them.
Party supports are there. What I feel in the left parties, they have their party support. The left parties, in my opinion, I don't blame any other political parties, but they're comparatively more equipped than other parties. What I feel.
What about the parties like Janta, Congress, BJP? What sort of support do they give MPs?
I think the MPs individually, they take care of themselves, and the parties, they do help them. But compared to left parties, I feel the other parties are not that the way the left parties they function.
What are the lessons that these parties should take from the left?
No, I think they're systematic. And what I find in the left parties, their spokesman is ready. Suppose in any subject, they feel they're right kind of man, and they're fully equipped, and they deliver, and that in the debate they participate in a very
so they have
better manner.
Expertise, and they have discipline also?
No, naturally, the discipline is there. I don't.
Would you say that in comparison, non-left parties are somewhat indisciplined?
No, it is not the indiscipline or discipline. Not from that angle, I don't say. The question is, it is making the MPs more effective. From a bigger angle, I am putting this question, because unless if you need a quality debate in the parliament and utilize your time in a suppose a time is for a member, I have seen in the European Parliament, 10 minutes for a member, he completes his speech within 9 minutes, and the speaker doesn't go for the calling bell.
What happens here?
It's just opposite. Here we feel if I can take more time and stretch more and encroach other members' time, then I am a better parliamentarian.
Is this because we are attracting attention?
No, I don't know. I think the press has a bigger role to play. It's a conditioning effect. If you feel that within 2 minutes a member is making a point, then he's a better parliamentarian than consuming 20 minutes and don't make any point. What's the point then?
Let me bring into the discussion something that we keep reading about from time to time, because the Lok Sabha publishes reports about the amount of time MPs speak, the amount of debates they participate in. And one of the worrying facts that came to light recently is that perhaps less than 15% of MPs
I tell you, in the last Lok Sabha, in the 10th Lok Sabha, I have seen one debate. That is on the security scam. That was a wonderful debate. Because...
But was that the only debate?
No, that was one of the best debate I have seen during that 10th Lok Sabha. Because all the members of different parties, they were totally equipped with facts, figures, everything, and they were making points.
But what you're saying is that is not a common thing. That is
unique. For the MPs, we have library, we have research wing, and all these kind of arrangements are there. But the point is...
But then, Minister, if all those arrangements are there, how is it that the Lok Sabha periodically publishes facts which show that less than 15% of MPs actually speak in major debates?
So it's a question of the time is divided in the party strength.
They end up speaking in 0 hour, but they don't participate in the big debates.
No, because you know the parties practically the time is being allotted by the strength of the different political parties. Let's say 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 50 minutes, 1 hour, and accordingly the parties they divide the times to different members, and naturally few members get chance to participate. But apart from that, it's not the question of debate. Suppose a member is serious, he can take the time of the parliament. Suppose I am framing questions and putting 193 discussion or calling attention or different mechanisms are there in our rules and procedure. So any member, if he is serious, without even party support also, he can consume more time in the parliament.
But does he know how to do this?
That is there. They have been given the right from the beginning. The members, they are given the kind of what is the rules, how to approach the, how to make yourself feel in the parliament even without the party's allotted time also. If a member is really thorough, then he can also take the time in the house.
If he is really thorough, he can do it. But how many are really thorough?
I tell you, every member can be thorough provided in what atmosphere he is being discharging his duty.
I'm asking you an embarrassing question. I know that you will not want to speak critically of your colleagues, but I also know that you're a very honest man. What percentage of MPs actually allow their time to be wasted by politicking or not knowing how the system works?
No, this is not the question of how many percentage. That exactly I cannot say.
But it's fairly large.
But I can put this straight away that few members, they have the because they have the expertise, they could get maximum time at the parliament, and leaving aside the new members, and they don't get chance to participate.
And the rest don't get a chance at all?
No, they get chance, but not that much as the old members. They practically corner the time, and the new members they are unable to get the time. It's not the question of how many minutes, how many hours I speak or they speak.
It's how effectively, it's how effective you are.
My point is how effectively. There are new members, I tell you. I have seen a young member, for the first time he's in the house, but making beautiful points within 2 minutes. If allotted 2 minutes, within 2 minutes he makes his point, and I think he makes a marks.
Minister, you've raised some very important issues. I want in part two to come back and talk about how we put things right, about the sort of system we need to create for the future. But first we have to take a brief commercial break. That's it for a moment. We'll be back in literally a couple of seconds, so don't go away. Welcome back to part two of our discussion with the Minister of Parliamentary Affairs. Minister, in part one we talked about how effectively our system is working, what sort of problems there are in Parliament and the functioning of MPs. I want now to broaden the canvas. We are living in an age where it looks very difficult to see a majority government being formed. We're going to live with hung parliaments, we're going to live with coalition governments. Do you think it's time for us to think of electoral or constitutional changes to handle this?
What I feel, we have already entered to an era of coalition, whether it is in the Delhi or in the state level. And the coalition formulation in future in our parliamentary system is a must. And what I feel, no single political party today is in a position to form the government of its own. So therefore, there has to be a kind of a coalition of different political parties. My point is, if there will not be a kind of a formulation after the election, now take the case of United Front. Suppose the 13 parties would not have come together, then what would have been the scenario? If they would not have formed the government, and if they would have kind of contradictions without coming together, then what would have been the position? No party, neither the BJP is in a position, the Congress is in a position, or United Front would have been formed. Then what would be the position? Then we would have gone back to again to the poll. Take the case of Uttar Pradesh also. If BJP and BSP would not have come together, then what would have been the scenario?
So how do
The
you
point
stop
is,
the country going back repeatedly to elections?
No, my point is that we are entering, and we have already entered to a coalition politics, and the like-minded forces will come together. My point is, if
Well, no,
there will not be a coalition, some contradictions or some kind of a formulation doesn't take place, then what is the constitutional remedy to that? It's a bigger question.
do you have one in mind? Do you have one that we should consider?
We have to suppose that the understanding is not there. Then what next is the election? Whether the country is in a position to go for frequent elections. If the country is not in a position to go for frequent election, is there any constitutional remedy or mechanism to respond to this kind of a scenario?
But are you about to suggest one?
No, my point is there are in other democracies, and it has been debated in the past also, can we go for a proportionate representation in the parliament or in the assembly? If not 100%, can we go 50%? Direct election 50% and proportionate election, the parties they fight, percentage of votes, and they nominate their members to the parliament or to the assembly, and then you can avoid this kind of a Hong kind of a thing. So therefore, it's just an idea. I'm not very sure, but I have to apply my mind in detail. And there has to be a kind of a debate. What is the challenges? What is the strength and weaknesses of the parliamentary system? Parliamentary system, in my opinion, is the best system in the country. And what are the weaknesses? We have to address to those weaknesses also.
Tell me something. Do you think that proportional representation, if it was introduced, would tackle some of the problems you're talking about?
No, we can have a detailed discussion. I cannot just give my mind within 15 minutes interview with you, but we have to discuss this issue in detail.
And you would like a discussion to start?
I am preparing a best paper on this. I will interact with different political scientists, and I am preparing to go for a colloquium where I will invite the political scientists, political party leaders, and members of parliament, chief ministers, experts in this, constitutional experts, and we can have a debate in this country. What exactly can be possible to, what are the weaknesses, and how best we can really strengthen our
Minister. I understand completely. You, however, are the first senior minister talking about such things. Does the rest of the United Front think the same way?
No, it's not the question of I am thinking. This thinking has been in the past. It's not that I am a new thinking.
But is there this thinking in the United Front?
No, it's not that. It's my personal opinion, and in the sense I am thinking of this kind of a thing. So whether we can, is there any, weaknesses in our system, or can it be rectified? And that's what I am thinking.
Have you discussed this with people like Harkishan Singh Surjeet or Indrajit Gupta or Deva Gowda or Mulayam Singh?
No, I have not discussed
this. But will you?
No, I will certainly discuss this issue. After preparing my best paper, I will certainly interact with them. So not that I will be talking to everybody. Every political party is not the only the United Front. It's not the question of only United Front. It's the overall system. And if there is a need to overall and strengthen, how to strengthen, if we'll
okay, let me throw something into this discussion. Many people say that perhaps one way around the problem of hung parliaments and coalition governments is to directly elect the executive, to directly elect the president. What do you say about that?
I'm totally opposed to this kind of idea. Because in the past also some few people they have said so, but I am totally opposed to the idea. This feudal hangover is still there in the country, and in our polity and in a democracy, parliamentary system of governance is the best, and this is the best system what we are practicing over the last 50 years.
Just so that I'm clear, how is this a feudal hangover? I don't follow that.
No, somehow this country is still, the feudal hangover is still there in the country.
But are you saying that if you directly elect the executive, then only feudal interests will come to power?
No, the point is the right reflection will not be there in the executive being directly elected in a vast country like ours. So therefore, when our framers of the constitution, and they thought it deeply, and finally they have concluded that this is the best system, parliamentary system. And I I feel that is the best system. And we need to decentralize our political system, not only Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Raj, every system at the ground level to the apex level has to be strengthened.
मुझे एक और चीज बताएं, आप एक और भी चीज कह रहे हैं ना साथ साथ के अमेरिका में where the direct election of the executive is normal, there are different reasons why it works, and those reasons don't apply to India.
No, I don't. But that's a system they have been practicing, and we have already accustomed to a kind of a system, and I feel this is the best system.
Okay, what about another variant of this? Recently, the Israelis had a parliamentary election late last year, and they have a parliamentary system, but this time round they chose to directly elect the prime minister.
No, I think the chief of the executive should not be elected directly. This is my opinion, and I feel the executive should be elected. The system that we have, the members of parliament and the majority, they should elect the prime minister, and the prime minister should form the government. That is the best system. But the point is, how to strengthen this system?
This is very interesting. One way of strengthening the system, as you said, is to consider PR. At least let's discuss it. PR, of course, throws a lot more importance upon political parties. Now, many people say the problem with Indian political parties is they're not parties, they're platforms. Do you share that view?
No, the point is the parties, because it's such a vast country, and the political parties, a single political party, they are not in a position to have their roots in all corners of the country. So therefore, the regional forces, having the same kind of objective, the regional forces, the regional decentralization by a natural process has taken place in this country. What is the United Front? If you go to Tamil Nadu and go to Andhra Pradesh, the political objective is almost same, the national approach is almost same, but they have decentralized, they have a state party, state level parties, and inside the state there are also sub-regional political parties. But there is nothing wrong in that, there is nothing wrong. But my point is the political parties, whether it's a state party, regional party or a national party, the political parties has to be a political, they should be well equipped and vibrant, and everything should be systematized, and the political parties should be business-like. Everything, the people's problems are many. And in a parliamentary democracy, the political parties are really the instrument of the people, those who can bring the social and economic changes to the country.
But it's
not the government, it's the parties really, that is their ideas being reflected to the different governments.
But this is very interesting. You say the party should be business-like, you say they should be vibrant. How much of this is to do with the national character of Indian people?
I think it is now, everything is changing, and the people like the modern people should come to the politics. Modern people should not go to the TVs and newspapers only.
But are modern people coming to politics?
They should come. They should come if they are really serious about their own country. They should come, they should dedicate themselves to the causes of the people.
Many modern people tend to look upon politics as a dirty game.
I don't know, that is the system. I don't know, the politics, political science is the best science, and the politics is neither the history nor the geography. It's a science, and anybody who is having a scientific mind should enter politics and experiment the political social chemistry in such a fashion so that the society can be transformed and a new society can come.
One last question. 10 years from now, will India have proportional representation?
I don't know, but I feel some kind of a, positive restructuring has to be there to strengthen the parliamentary democracy.
Minister, on that note, thank you very much for talking to InFocus. That's it this week. We'll be back next week with another interview, but for today, from the offices of Mr. Srikant Jena in New Delhi, goodbye.